Hello and welcome to Tales of a Live Streaming Nobody. This is the first episode of the podcast, um, and I am DJSTiKBoy or Matt, if you want to call me Matt. I decided to start this podcast because I have been talking to myself in my apartment fairly regularly now, I would say, since about when COVID started. So I decided to turn it into a podcast instead of just mumbling to myself. I think that's a good way to go about doing things. It is Sunday, September 13th. Um, I currently, had I've had a good weekend. I've been streaming video games regularly and unsuccessfully, but I had a pseudo successful stream yesterday, which is great, you know. And so this podcast, I suppose, is I should probably say, like, yeah, I'm not joking about the talking to myself thing. I'm definitely talking to myself a lot because I don't know anybody in the state that I currently live, which is Oregon. Um, but the purpose of this podcast is just talk about what the hell is going on in my life, but also talk about streaming and engaging people on the internet in a different way, just to see how it goes. I've always wanted to start a podcast, so here we are. So I'm just gonna just shoot from the hip. I don't have anything prepped. Uh, I do intend to have guests on this show. This might be a guaranteed solo podcast, one per week, and then I might get some guests lined up depending on um, what the hell is going on. So depending on how this works, depending on the engagement and everything like that, I will consider engaging guests. But for now, it's just going to be solo. Um, So I reside in the state of Oregon, and I don't know if you've been seeing anything on the internet about Oregon, but Oregon's gone through some shit this year. Oregon has really, really been hit hard with a lot of things this great year of 2020 that we have, the year of our Lord and Savior. Um, if you've seen any pictures, I mean, if I look outside of my apartment right now, there's like it looks like there's just a pseudo, like a medium thick layer of fog, um, and it's smoke from all the fires in the southern part of Oregon. There's like three of them, and they combined, like the combined acreage that's on fire is something up north of like 300,000 acres of burning land, actively burning land, which is crazy to me. And if you've been watching Oregon, or I mean even just the United States right now, those we used to be ma- making fun, a lot of fun out of doomsday preppers and the people that keep a lot of canned goods in their basement. And with how it's been going for this entire year, those guys are starting to make a whole lot more sense. I mean, not that we're really in a state of having to reside underground, but really we're just residing in a glorified underground at this point in time. Like we were already discouraged to go outside due to COVID-19 and be around other people. And now for the states that are on fire, which is a lot of states right now in the United States, like what, 10 states have active wildfires right now, something like that. Yeah, that's probably wrong, but I'm not going to look it up. Um, they're now encouraged to stay inside because of fucking smoke from a wildfire. Like, just as we're starting to maybe go to some restaurants and maybe start live in a little bit normally, shit catches on fire. And now you can't. And for me, I'm an asthmatic. So I can't really mess around with being outside in the dead of like it just with any amount of smoke. Anytime that there's been a wildfire, my broken lungs just get all it's already messed up. I can feel it. I've got plenty of meds though for it, but it's like I see these like normies, and I say normies meaning people that have normal lungs that function properly, and they're outside with no mask on, and it's like a dense smoke. This is not something good to inhale. You're not supposed to inhale this much smoke without some sort of protective covering. I was just at the gas station today because I had to, stop and just get something while I was out, and I saw a guy with a literal, like almost like a modern plague mask. It's a full head covering with like a respirator on the side, like a military grade, like a hazmat mask. Not like the dome, but like this like big goggles, giant respirator here. And he just walks into a store. Like that's normal now. Last year at this time, if you walked into a fucking store like that, wearing that, they'd be like, "Hey, can you take that off, please?" But now we just don't even fucking care. It's like, "Oh, look at that guy's mask. Where can I buy that? Did you get that from Amazon? Did you steal that from a military base? What the fuck?" So, I mean, everyone's trying to blame these fires on climate change. I'm sure I don't know shit about climate change or things like that. But I know that there was one fire in California that was started by a gender reveal party of sorts. And I don't know the method at which they started a fire, but I don't think that that's a good way to cosmically bring a baby into the world. I mean, I really think you're dealing your child a rough set of karma cards, if you will, by starting off the celebration that you dropped a live one into some lady. These gender reveal parties, I think they gotta stop. I think they need to stop straight across the board. It's like it's just so unnecessary. Like you had a kid, all that all that all that should be done when you're having a kid, and you know that like it's time to tell the family. It should be just a get together with your family. You bring everybody. You get mom, dad, both sides, and maybe grandparents and your siblings, and you sit down and you have a big dinner. You pour your wife or girlfriend, the one who's pregnant, a glass of sparkling water, and then you tell everybody you got a kid coming. That's all you need to do. No, you don't need to post it on Instagram. No, you don't need to put it up on YouTube. No, you don't need to have this grandiose celebration of having a kid. It's not spectacular to have a kid. It's not an achievement, really. It's not an achievement. I mean, it's definitely an achievement to raise a kid and have him or her not be all fucked up or anything. I think that's an achievement, but having a kid is not much of an achievement. Okay, becoming a parent is, it's something. It's definitely a sacrifice that should be respected. Don't get me wrong, but additionally, it's like, hey, it's just a kid. It's just a kid. The kid's a kid. It's a fetus. You don't need to celebrate that. Especially with fireworks that'll set a whole state on fire. And I don't know. And everyone's just like trying to make their just normal life special. which I guess isn't. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's like hey, like who's gonna care, right? Only your family cares. I've never seen somebody that watches a gender reveal party or an announcement of people that they don't like. Like people are like, oh, look at this gender reveal, how ridiculous it is. It's not even like, oh, like I want to get to know that kid now based on the party that they threw for a fetus. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop. You know, like having participation trophies and is the same thing as that. The participation trophy generation is just glorifying shit that doesn't matter. Losing doesn't matter. Being bad at something doesn't matter. Being average doesn't matter. Okay? I just think that the effort could be put in somewhere. Like the amount of effort put into these fucking gender reveals. It's like I feel like you could just put effort into anything else and have it be better. Like I just like the amount of work that goes into it. It's just like crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it. But then again, a lot of those same people would look at me starting a podcast and also being a Twitch streamer and gaming for, 20 like 30 hours a week while having a 9 to 5 as ridiculous as well. So I mean, it's just a matter of perspective, really. But then again, if I do get a wife that wants a gender reveal, I don't think I'm going to die on that hill. You know, I don't think it's the guy's idea to have a gender reveal party either. I think that'd be a little bit strange. I think you might be asking a couple questions about your husband or your boyfriend if he's like, we should have a gender reveal party. So back to this smoke. At some point, I was in an area at which they told me, oh, you should be prepared to leave just in case the fire gets close. Now, I'm not going to say exactly where that was, in which part, but for a while I was definitely scared. I was definitely scared. Um, I I grew up in Colorado, and I have just like memories on memories of just like not fucking with nature. And there are people that didn't leave when the fires were serious or the smoke, the air quality was super bad, right? And now like they've lost their homes, they've lost all their stuff, and that's not good. But if there's any indication by somebody that knows more than me, like okay, a firefighter's like, hey, this thing's out of control, you gotta go, somewhere. I listen. And it's all because like in Colorado, like we're no stranger to natural disasters. Like tornadoes go, it's right in Tornado Alley. There, I, I tornado sirens and the emergency sirens, they freak me out. That the siren in particular freaks me out almost more than the tornado, which is weird because you don't want to be caught with your pants down outside when a tornado's coming through. Just like you don't want to be caught with your pants down when a fire is, 50 feet from your house. And so I was gearing up to take off and go stay at my parents' place in Colorado for a while. I was going to just like leave and stay for a month. And I might still have to do that if the air quality gets even any worse than it is right now, because I can really only be on the outside. I can be in a store for maybe 15 minutes. I can be like legitimately outside for just passing between my car and the store or my car and the apartment that I'm in. Because you can feel it even through a mask. You can feel the smoke. It's like it's just not good. And then they're saying that the air quality right now is worse than Beijing. I don't know if I just said that, or Beijing or Mexico City, both of them. It's worse right now. And I don't know how people live in those cities with this, like, around this air quality. I mean, I get that people might have to live there just because they don't have a choice. But I would take a smaller house on the countryside where there's no fire to have better air quality. This is bad. Luckily, it's not circulating in my apartment, because if it was, I would have been gone already. It's a newer building, so we're good. The air filtration, I guess, is good. I don't understand anything about that kind of stuff. I just know what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this kind of just, ugh, you know, in my chest. But, you know, everybody is ready for 2020 to be over. And I don't think people have considered that it's not the year that dictates when all this shit gets done and over with. It's when everything gets done. Like, obviously, COVID is going to be a seasonal thing. It's going to be around for a while. Obviously, the civil unrest stuff, it's going to continue until there are changes. So, everyone's like, fuck 2020. I want this year to be fucking done. But it's like, hey, 2021 could also be bad. 2020 could be bad, but 2021 could be worse. Everyone's just like, December 31st, 11:59, we'll all celebrate we'll ring in the new year 2021. Woo! They think that the end of the year is going to constitute the end of all the shit that's happening in the world and in this country. It's misguided. It's misguided. I mean, it's good to be hopeful. We've had shitty years in the past. That have stopped being shitty the following year. I mean, but I don't foresee us getting back to any amount of normalcy, and I don't want to make this all about that. But this could very possibly be fucked for 2, 3, even 10 years. We might just be fucked for 10. I mean, if you look at history, like there were the entire generations of people that lived completely fucked lives. So, quit being optimistic, I guess, about 2021. Just because there's a new year doesn't mean any of this shit's going to stop. But, I mean, in other news, I want to play Among Us really badly. I want to play Among Us with 10 of my buddies for like 10 hours. I'm ready for, even though the game is not necessarily chill, it's just more chill than the games I'm currently playing. Like, primarily I'm playing Call of Duty. Call of Duty. I'm playing Warzone mostly, some gunfights. I play Tarkov from time to time off stream. And I just, we as a gaming community, I guess, have lost all like ability to play a game in a chill fashion. Everybody is just sweaty now. Everybody's just sweaty. It's kind of annoying. Like, I mean, at least the people that stream play sweaty people all the time. Oh, man. I'm looking at my face, and it is very apparent that I am hungover right now. My my so like I stay up late like on Saturday nights to play video games with friends, and it's a blast. It's super fun. But it's like it's just like drinking, like you're drinking and you're playing and you're having fun, making content, etc. It's great. It's fun, but it's like COVID and 2020 in general have showed me that I can still drink like I drank in college on the weekends, but the mornings and the days after are just fucking bananas. The hang it's totally different being 25 and consuming alcohol as opposed to being 20. What a difference 5 years makes. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, I might have some drinks today and watch some football, which started up this week. And, the sports coming back, it's I think it's ultimately a good thing. I think it's a good sign, at least, that things are gonna, I don't know, the things that we typically take joy in are coming back. I mean, video gamers, this isn't much different. COVID isn't different for video gamers. We've all been inside anyways, trying to get better. We've all been inside, just trying to get good and goated at whatever video game we're playing. Probably failing at it too. But I mean, I'm excited for football. I'm honestly more excited for fantasy football because it's just another thing to be competitive with and have fun with. And just to chill and have something to talk shit about with your friends. It's not video games. But that being said, I do want to play Among Us. That game has taken over the world. It's a $5 game. And it's taken over the world. It's great. It's taken over the world of streaming. It's just fucking content out the ears for that shit. Looks awesome, right? And along with Among Us, additionally, Fall Guys came out. And like the simplicity of these games, I think, is a good sign. Everything's just too complex. It's too serious. We need these types of games. We need the balance because not everyone I don't want to be playing FPS 100% of the time. But it's just hard finding 10 people, 10 people is a hard find for games like this. And you need 10 because playing it randomly is a disaster. It is awful. It is rough. Sorry. I just got an email. Sorry. Day job stuff. Day job stuff that I don't have to touch today. Which is nice, so I can relax, continue recording. So the other, I mean, I'm seeing all these people in the gaming community right now that how do I explain this? At least with the small community of streamers, just like play bad games hoping that they get big like Fortnite did. You know? There's people just making content for games that nobody asked for. Like some strange fucking indie game that they're like, oh, it's a cool game, but I'm gonna sit here and grind it because it's like a game that I enjoy. Well, look at that, another beer, huh? You know, you should play games that you like, but investing so much time into it, I think is a bad move. You know, in my case, like I play a bunch of different games right now. I mean, I do play primarily COD right now for some reason. I just started playing it a bunch more. But it's like I want to be like a variety streamer more than anything. I want to be a variety streamer, and that on the in the in the small community sense, I think is a bad plan to be a variety streamer. You've got to get like a following somewhere else or in a single game first, so that I guess justifies why somebody would be playing one game that like nobody plays. But you know, you've got to find like a sweet spot, and you've got to find the timing, and I haven't had like the best timing yet. You know, I like think like I haven't just like happened upon a game that happened to become popular that I could grind and become good at yet. You know, and I mean, there's always people that are better than you too. There's always going to be people that are better than you in gaming because there's other people that have more time, they have more. They have less to think about, you know. They don't have the day job. They don't have the intertwined pieces of what, you know, someone that games on their off hours from their job would be typically doing, you know. It's like the people that can just devote the most time to stuff will always be better, mostly. So, I guess the pursuit of the live streaming piece is really just a matter of timing and a matter of content. And you know, I've been teaching myself how to become a video editor. I'm not formally trained as a video editor. And if you check out my videos, you're probably not going to be surprised that um, that I'm a elementary video editor, to say the least. But it's worth a shot. Like if you find something cool, and I just try to post whenever I can. I have time, but it just takes me a long time to make videos. It takes a long time to create content. And I've actually been streaming less to create that extra content. And it's complicated. It's complicated to learn all this stuff. And it really should be like, to me, it's opened my eyes to how much like respect I have for people in the community that are making it big right now. Like they're making it fucking big. You know, these giant YouTubers with like million, like even 100,000 subscribers is like, holy shit, 100,000. That's crazy. And they get, you know, hundreds of thousands of views on their videos. And I get stoked when I get 10 views. I get excited when I get 10 views. It's great. It's like such a weird perspective because there's like that, because clearly, right? I'm new to YouTube. I'm new to all this social media marketing stuff. And I get juiced when I get at least something, you know, some result. You know, one like, you know, something like that. And all these people would look at my numbers and be like, "You're a failure." And it's like, yeah, I will be failing until I start succeeding, which is I don't know when that is. You know? So the hope is that either one, I make a video that people enjoy and they start subscribing to the channel, or I start making content on Twitch that people like. But it's impossible to find people on Twitch. And I feel like there's like a diamond in the rough kind of nature to Twitch and live streaming in general. I feel like every small streamer right now is thinking that they're a needle in a haystack. And there are needles in the haystack of Twitch right now. There's people that make great content that deserve or could be very, very big. And unfortunately, there's just no way to find them. And if there is an avenue at which to find them, it's very hard from a viewer standpoint to find these cats, to find these people. You know, I've met and interacted with a lot of, you know, I would say great young new streamers, and it's cool. I'm glad. I'm happy for it. I'm happy that they're doing something in their spare time. But it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to it's gonna be hard to find them. So I mean, I don't know. I started this podcast because I was just like, you know what? I want to talk about my experiences. Because they are in some way, shape, or form unique. Because I've had a wild ride already, it feels like. And I've been content creating for maybe a year now. And just over a year actually. And I've had like a big host from like Harblue, and I've had 0 viewers. I've had 0 viewers on the front end of this of my career. and then I've had like a couple, and then I've had like 20 average, like a 12 average viewership, which was fantastic. And then I get like a big time host to become affiliated, and then after that it's just been kind of dying down. It's been fluctuating in between with my content now. So it's like the growth is so freaking hard. It's really hard. And there are some things that people are like, you should be putting your content up on fucking TikTok. And it's like, do I have to? Do I fucking have to? Please, can I not? Do I have to get an app for children? Just because everybody else is? And is it that much more discoverable? I don't know these things. But it's dawning on me that I might have to get a TikTok and have my, you know, surveillance come from another country completely. But it's like, what do I do? You know, what do I do? So my answer is start a podcast on a separate YouTube channel. To see if people would like to hear what I have to say. I don't know. But a lot more people are getting into streaming because they have more time and they don't have like a job. So they're taking on streaming, which, you know, at least you're trying to do something, right? But I'm realizing that being a 25-year-old and living on your own and having a day job is not the most ideal setting for a stream or content creation, because you got to pay your bills, and then you got to allocate time for content, and then you've got to allocate time for the stream, and then you're tired, and then you got to wake up and you got to do it all over again, right? And I've been thinking, like, what a luxury it would be to just be living with my parents right now. Because I would have to not worry about bills, and if I had rent, it would be cheap, you know, like $300 to stay at my parents' place. But my overhead is much, much lower. And my stream quality could even be better too. But for some reason, I'm not inclined, really, to move back in with my parental unit. Just just because it's nice to be alone. It's nice to be chilling by yourself. Not enough people spend time alone, and I don't know what that is. Like, I moved here, and I only know the people from work, and they're fantastic. They're fantastic people, but they also have lives. They've got, kids and families and boyfriends and husbands, and they have their own schedules and all that kind of stuff. So I keep to myself because I don't want to insert myself into their not into their scope. Like, of course I would hang out with them. I do pseudo regularly. But it's like when you have friends in a place that have a lot of other substantial things happening in their life, it's kind of hard to be like, hey, what are you doing? What you up to? So I keep to myself. Which I think is ultimately a good thing. I like keeping to myself because being able to be with yourself, I think, is something that's learned. I think it's something that's important because right now, like, I would wager to say, like, a lot of people in my age range, they hang out with people all the time, and then they don't spend a lot of time just in their own head learning about themselves from themselves, right? A lot of people learn from themselves based on who they interact with, right? Not based on who, not just on their own review, I guess, of their own behavior. So this, with COVID and then me not really seeing people, it's kind of like, it's been a bummer, but it's also been like kind of fun. I like my own space. I've always been able to regenerate better that way. I always need like if I'm around a bunch of people all the time, I always need to take at least like an hour out of my day to be by myself completely and just do my own thing, whether it's like scrolling through Instagram for 2 hours, or if it's like, or like an hour, or like watching a couple of YouTube videos and then getting back out there. Like when I'm in a group of people, I interact like I interact relatively normally. I'm extroverted. I can tell stories. I'm comfortable around people. I'm not like an introvert by any means, but I definitely need a recharge because there's things that I got to get through in my own head. I've got like my own levels of anxiety and my own levels of just like things I've got to think about, you know? Like things I got to discuss. So it's I don't see people recharging alone. People recharge by seeing people. Seeing people, it's like, especially now, it's like, why do you, like, I would hang out with people if I had the option to, but what the fuck are we gonna do? I can't just hang out with a new person and, like, talk, you know? I want to hang out with people I've known for a decade, you know? I want to have, like, a conversation with, like, a real friend, you know? And I do that over FaceTime, and I do that over Discord and everything like that. And it's it's good. Inherently, it's good that I'm able, because of technology, to be able to have those conversations, because it would be very, very different if I was here alone with the complete inability to talk with anybody at all. That I would be going crazy. I would be going insane if that was the case. Everyone always criticizes me that I know. They're like, how the fuck are you not trying to make friends? How the fuck are you not going out and or like getting the friend version of Tinder to start interacting with people in your area? It's like, is there anything more depressing than downloading an app and being like, hey, do you want to be my friend? Or, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, there's nothing more depressing than that. Like, it's already enough depression and shit to get like a dating app and be like, hey, do you want to maybe, you know, be my girlfriend? But it's a different level of just sad. For if you're like, hey, I'm looking for some friends so that we can meet up at a bar, a socially distanced bar, and have small talk for an hour, and then I can go back to my apartment. Let me tell you my interests. Well, I'm interested in video games and podcasts, and that's about it. What are your interests? Do you play Call of Duty? What's your favorite food? That's not the type of conversation I want to have. I want to have the conversations that you have with your homies, like your really close friends. And I mean, if I would have moved back closer to friends if I couldn't talk through a device to my closest friends, who I consider my family. And everyone's just looking at me like, you haven't seen people in months? It's like, not really, but like, hey, I talk to them regularly using the technology. It's way easier to maintain relationships over a long distance, like now, than ever before. Because I'll be honest, I don't have the energy to write letters. Handwritten letters. That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. I don't know how people had friends in different states 50 years ago. I guess you'd call them up on the phone, right? You'd call them up, and they'd pick up, and then you'd talk, and you'd twist the cord a little bit, and then, okay, goodbye, click. But it just seems like you would just find that environment would be conducive of like, oh yeah, you should go find more friends, because there's like not tangible items or software that allows you to be able to to have a deeper level of communication and see people's faces and stuff. Like FaceTime and Zoom is like a miracle is a miracle in maintaining relationships over long distances. Like it used to be like, oh, my friend's moving away. I guess he's really not my friend anymore, because that's how it used to be. That's how it used to be. Like, you're moving. Well, congratulations on that job. I guess we're not friends anymore because of location. That's not the case now, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Oh, side note. So, people born in the 90s, when they say, hey, mimic a phone, they do this. But apparently, the younger generations, when you say, hey, hold a fake phone up to your head, they do this with the hand. What? I mean, I get it. Phones are flat. But it's like an interesting observation that I saw on an Instagram video that a parent did. We think the phone looks like this. I mean, it doesn't anymore. There's no phones that look like this anymore. Not phones that you can use. Those archaic machines that you used to put coins in, and now we're all beat up in the streets of New York. But yeah, friendships are weird. New friendships are weird, especially at 25. I feel like I've got a 50-year-old's idea about friendships, but at 25. Because I feel like adults, they don't seek out new friendships They definitely don't seek them out. They either happen through their children or they happen organically at like a country club or some, I don't know, meeting place for adults. Like I feel like an adult, like a fully fledged, like over 40-year-old adult that's like actively seeking out friends. I think that's at like that doesn't exist. Like you've got your friends, and they're your friends, and that's it. You know, I mean, my parents they have friends, but they don't like it. They interact with people like to a certain extent, but it's not the way that some other parents are. And mostly I just want to live near my close friends eventually because I would just love to hang out with them forever. Um, which is I think the goal is to just have your community as close to you as possible. And but it's like people all like it's a big thing every single time that like I bring up, oh yeah, I'm just out here doing my thing in Oregon, got this job doing the video game thing. People are like, you need to hang out with some friends. And it's like, oh, who wants to start a new friendship at 25? Like a new friendship, like you could find out in a year that that person's an absolute piece of shit. And then you've just spent a year hanging out with somebody. Like, how often did that happen when we were growing up? Like in middle school, elementary school, in high school. I don't know why I said it in that order, but like in that area of things, it's like you made and broke friendships quickly. Like you go to a birthday party and you're like, actually, you know what? I don't like these kids. And then sometimes you'd be like, I've been hanging out with these kids for a year. Now they don't like me. All right, gotta go make some new relationships. Gotta make some new friends. And then there's the ones that stick around, and then they become your best friends. They're the ones that you'll invite to your wedding and be in your be your like part of the. I guess if you're a girl, it's like a bridal party, and if you like you get if you're a guy, it's a bachelor party or whatever it is. I don't fucking know the specific names. Marriage isn't necessarily on my mind at this moment. But to be fair, like those types of friendships are just much more valuable. And then starting one at 25 is like, that's effort. That's effort. That's a lot. You know? That's a lot of time to spend. And then 7 years from 25, you're now 32. What? 32, and you got your life at 32, and you're going to be hanging, like, still making a friendship, a true friendship at 32? Get the fuck out of here. There's no way. There's no way that works out. And on another note, it's like, I'm leaving this whole state within 2 years. I'm leaving this whole state within 2 years. I don't need to have deep friendships with people in my age group because I'm leaving. And there's no way that I'm really going to FaceTime somebody that's my age after only like a year and a half of talking to them. Really not. Unless it's like the 1% of relationships where it just pops the fuck off and it's just like lightning strikes and it's perfect and you're like, what the fuck, like, this is actually a great person. But I feel like that's rare. So as I said, I had a few drinks last night, and um, I wish I could just drink the amount of alcohol every time that makes you better at video games and then just stay there. But it's hard to recognize when that is. It's really hard to recognize what or when that's happening, you know? It's very tough. It's very tough because you feel it in the moment and you feel it for a couple of games where you're like, I'm on fire. I'm relaxed. I'm taking good I'm taking good fights. I'm not taking bad fights. I'm hitting my shots, etc. But then like you surpass that level, and then all of a sudden you like completely lose motor function. And you're like, I was good 30 minutes ago. What's going on now? What's happening? It's almost like I'm drinking alcohol. So I guess I'll discuss the TV that I've been watching. And the TV that I've been watching a lot of anime. And I'm not like a weeb, but like I want to know if people have been enjoying anime more now than ever before. Because like it's a completely different world. It's animated, and typically animated shows have a really good structure of like the world and what is going on in the animated world with the particular characters and their storyline. So I feel as if like since everybody's been indoors and everybody's been putting on masks and everything is out of the supposed ordinary, right, in America, I want to know if because anime is truly like the largest escape, right, from a TV watching standpoint. Like really it's like anime is, I think, I would say number one for complete like suspension of disbelief, right? Where you can just buy into it and you're like, what would it be like in this world with this scenario? What would I do? Right? And then there's like the really high quality shows with like actual humans that do it, like Game of Thrones, or like The Sopranos, things like that, where the storyline is so like conducive of it's conducive of just like making you think that you're in the world that that is being described in the story. And there's no way to statistically tell this, but I'd wager to believe that people are really, really going more towards anime because those problems in anime seem preferable to the ones that we're currently living in right now. So I've been watching a lot of anime. I've been watching Bleach. And Bleach, I have to say, I don't know much about the anime community. I just kind of watch whatever I watch. But the animated, like, that show is fucking incredible. That show is nutty. That is so good. That's just, yeah. Like, it's so good. It's like, Bleach is fucking incredible. I've really been liking it. The conflicts, the fighting, everything. It has been just an awesome experience. Awesome experience. It's got the swords. It's got the backstories. It's got everything that you want out of an animated show. But I think it's like everyone's just trying to escape this reality, which makes me a little bit nervous. Nervous for sure. But before I get to that part, I've also been watching What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire show. Holy fucking shit. That's incredible. So funny. So goddamn funny. I haven't seen, like, that's like an Office type show. That show's gonna go on for 7 seasons and be like beloved by the community. I think if that show had come out when cable was popular, that thing would be just like a top show. Absolutely, it would be. It's so funny. I recommend it to everybody. The vampire's assistant character in that show, the guy with the glasses, the chubby guy, funny. Oh my god. I encourage you to check that show out. That's what I don't watch too many shows because I'm busy, creating content. But like the show it just like encapsulates just like pure comedy. It's just so good. I love it. With all that I've watched the whole season on Hulu. Well worth the time. Well worth the time. And my girlfriend actually, when I was visiting her, because everything in my life is a long distance. My friends and my girlfriend. What a way to do that. Well, I have to. The day job is too good to not do that. But just kind of a circumstantial situation there. But the the crazy part is, she recommended me a show, and in the past, like she's been 2 for 2 on COVID recommendation TV shows. She recommended me Brockmire, and she recommended me Killing Eve. And I watched Killing Eve with her when I was out with her. Oh my god, I was fucking addicted. That show is so good. The characters are great. It's got that Asian lady from what's that show? Grey's Anatomy. I don't know her name, but she's incredible in the show. And it's like I'm not gonna spoil anything really, because that's not what I want to do. But the assassin in that show, the blonde assassin who's like some like bisexual assassin, which seems plausible. Like just incredible character development, incredible storytelling. That's been taking most of my time of television watching. So, you know what? We're gonna wrap it up. I think here. I don't have too much else to talk about necessarily. So this will be a weekly upload to YouTube to start. As of right now, I'm still researching how to do like RSS feeds and to get this podcast done up on the audio of it, at least on things like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and things like that. But for now, it's going to remain and be mostly housed on YouTube until I get that established. Yeah, this is Tales of a Live Streaming Nobody. First episode. And I will be, creating other things with this. We're going to have some guests. It might just be my friends to start. Some of my close buddies that I game with every single day. I think that's what we'll do. We'll just have a conversation. I'll Discord it. I'll put my face up and then the Discord face up, of course. But I'm excited to do this project, and if you like this, if you like this sort of content, I will appreciate all of the the support and everything like that. The only reason I'm saying this part of it is that this is the first episode, and reminder that you can follow me at DJSTiKBoy, my regular Instagram. I will be making all the social medias for this podcast very soon. That should be done within the next week. So you can go out and follow. It'll likely be Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and that'll be where it starts. And then subscribe to the channels, follow for any updates and other content related to this stuff. And then I will catch you guys next week. We'll see you later. Love y'all.